So they asked if they could come and do a test on a couple ostrich. We said, absolutely, no problem. We invited them in. They asked to have 2 deceased animals to take the tests on, which now looking back is a little alarming. So they came in, and on the 29th, it was the 30th, they came and did this. They took 2 PCR tests of 2 of our ostriches. They did a oral swab and a rectal swab of our ostriches. They left with that sample. They came back to us the next day on the 31st by about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and they let us know that we had H5N1 and our farm was set to be destroyed. So painting a picture too of our ostriches is, we really need to highlight the fact that we are flightless. We're a flightless animal. We are stationary in the middle of nowhere. At the same time, a really critical piece of information is when we did the PCR test, we asked them, CFIA, to test any of our healthy animals, to test any of the animals that had been symptomatic, and they denied our request. They said that's not possible. So we, speeding up again, we found out later on here by our lawyer, looking through paperwork, that on the 31st, 41 minutes after they found out that result of H5N1, her name is Courtney Forthingham for Canadian Food and Inspection Agency. She already signed the order that our farm was to be depopulated, murdered, and culled. So, kind of a funny coincidence, because then on January 2nd, they put us through a 5.5 hour Zoom call with all top officials and vets. And they wanted us to expose our business plan. They wanted us to expose any scientific work that we have been working on to do with antibodies. They wanted us to expose all of our research material and literature, which they were extremely interested in and acted like this was going to help save our animals. At about the 5-hour mark, my mom, Karen Esperson, said, "Are you just probing us for information and you've already decided that you're killing our animals?" And they said, no, we're really interested in what you guys are working on. And so a backstory on our farm is about 3 years ago, we transitioned our farm into a scientific living laboratory. So we partnered with a gentleman, Dr. Tsukamoto, out of Kyoto, Japan, Dr. Stu Greenberg out of Boston, United States, and we formed Struthio Bioscience, a company really focusing on the natural immunity and the strong, robust antibodies of an ostrich. Mm-hmm. At that time, so we have scientific studies that we actually can have the antibodies that can help neutralize the COVID-19 virus. And the reason it can do it is the antigen was built universally to neutralize and go beyond the crown, and universally it could treat any variant. So at that time, this was about 2.5-3 years ago now, we reached out to the government with our antibody program and reaching out to them for help, saying, hey, we have something that the government that could help humanity in how we treat viruses in the future. Now looking back at this, it's kind of put one of the biggest targets on our back. Because they will not, they still want us eradicated. They want all of our healthy ostriches. We did lose some. We lost 69 ostriches in total on our farm. But interesting fact is that any of the ostriches that were exposed to that Pseudomonas bacteria in 2020, not one of our older ostriches have died or gotten sick. Mm-hmm. Not one of them have had even skipped a beat. So whatever they were exposed to back in 2020, they gained a herd immunity. And our younger ostriches here now that have been on our farm from 2020 after, these are the ones that were susceptible to whatever happened, came through our farm this time. So we are at herd immunity again. All of our animals were at, I think, 33 days with no symptoms, no deaths. Everybody's happy and healthy. And they are, Canadian Food Inspection Agency is just saying, absolutely no, we are to be, all of them are still to be killed. But during their visits on our farm, they have outright asked us, where do we store our COVID-19 antibodies? They've asked us where we store our research. They've let us know that when they come in and they kill our animals, they are allowed to go through our private residence, and they will take anything, they said, and any byproduct of the animals that we have on the farm, and they will destroy it. And so we said, so even our 35-year-old ostrich painted eggs that people have painted for us, and they said everything. They said even our laptops, like our laptops can be destroyed. So I don't know how that, how the virus lives in our laptop.
You're right. It's fact.
But we are hanging on by a thread. Sorry, it makes me emotional. I've been trying to get my emotions in check. It's been a very long road. It's been a big journey because we just, we're fighting the government. And we're letting them know, no, we're not killing them. We hold a key into treating disease and viruses. And if they don't want to see, even just take interest in how we could help humanity, then there's a bigger story happening here. They have a stamping out policy, which the stamping out policy works hand in hand with the World Health Animal Organization, which is also governed by the WHO, which is also ran by the UN. And they keep coming back to us saying that if we want to keep our H5N1 free status in Canada. So that is why we have a stamping out policy, which means we need to eradicate our farms. So which again, if you think about this with any logic, I'm sure you have a lot of it, is so the stamping out policy is you're going farm to farm to eradicate animals that could need their natural immunity. Without natural immunity, we are at risk of humanity, of survival, human survival. And as long as there's migratory birds in the world, which is another thing that I asked CFIA, I said, what are you going to do with the 300 to 500 mallard ducks that landed in our pens, ostrich pens, that we're pretty sure brought whatever virus it was, because it was soon after that they took house in our pens that we had sick animals. And they looked at us and chuckled and said, that's wildlife. What are you going to do? Kill all wildlife in the world? That's insane. So I said, then how are you saving the world by killing our 380 now ostriches? And how is that going to make an impact? It's not, as long as we have migratory birds in the world, there will be nowhere in the world that is H5N1 free. So get rid of the status, get rid of this, and let's start helping our farmers, helping our food, protecting humanity.